Just a nice little tickle on the day before the AMRAP set, as prescribed. Got an interesting comment last night that I thought I'd answer in this video. Even a tickle makes me lose my breath. How jacked can I get? 16 hours ago writes, the reasoning you use for weight selection or rows is the same reasoning bodybuilders use for all exercises. Getting the stimulus with the least amount of systemic fatigue. But I see you do 60 for 20 many times before. You never add reps or weight at all. Your RPE clearly isn't that high. Bar slows down a little bit, but you have like 5 reps left. Proximity to failure is super important for muscle gains, which is the main thing that rows can do for you. I mean, I'm nowhere near as strong as you, and with strict, very bent over form and full range of motion, I can do 13 reps with 64. I think if you just bumped it up to 70, you'd get a lot more out of it, and it wouldn't make you meaningfully more fatigued. 16 likes on that comment. The way I think about it is like this. 3-day split. Every third day you go to absolute failure beyond RPE 10, right? Breathing squats make you do that. You give everything. Then the following day you rock up and it's very, very light squats, but you do a bunch of accessories. You're still fatigued. In fact, you're never more fatigued than the day after the AMRAP set of the squats. Very, very fatigued, but you get through the accessories with the least amount of addition to fatigue. You're trying to just isolate in bodybuilder stuff, right? You're not trying to smash yourself because there's nothing to smash. You're freaking exhausted. But you do some pump work. Then the following day, the second day after the AMRAP set, so now we're on day 2 of the split, is today, and I'm doing very little today. Just work up to 160 and that's it. In preparation for the war I'm about to have tomorrow. And then the cycle repeats. 1, 2, 3. 3 is always war. So the fellow that writes, he's like, why aren't you pushing it hard? Well, the first thing that pops into my mind, okay, so you're very, very strong in the row, but are you doing AMRAP sets on the squats? Are you pushing the squats as hard as you possibly can? You see, training is not a vacuum of a bunch of different exercises. Your training is placed upon a whole heap of other shit going on in your life. Training, obviously, not just on that day, but the previous 7 days will impact today. Your life, your work, your family, all that stuff, all adds up. So to think that me coming in on a specific day and being like, okay, give 1,000%, I ain't got no 1,000%. I'm working on 30%. And so when I say to you, I can't and I don't want to push, 1,000%, I'm telling you because I am in a deficit. I have a debt that I haven't yet repaid, so I don't want to withdraw more. It's very, very fatiguing to do AMRAP sets. I don't know if you guys have had experience with this, but it's very, very fatiguing. And I'm constantly mindful of recovery for the following episode of the AMRAP set. And so I'm constantly thinking about that while trying to address some weaknesses that I'm assessing as I go along. So I'm trying to access these weak areas and bring them up a little bit without drawing too much debt out of the bank. I don't want to go into too much debt. So like I said to you yesterday, I am more than capable of hitting 120 kilos in the rows. Yanking that shit up like there's no tomorrow. Making that my number one exercise for my whole training cycle. I can make rows, and so can you, by the sounds of it. You can make rows your absolute focal point of your training. And I can freaking send it. Put 3 plates on the bar, I'll row that shit. Put some straps on and just fucking half deadlift that shit, half yank that shit and just muscle it. But that is not my superstar of my training. The superstar of my training is the AMRAP set of squats twice a week. I can't give the ball to this role player and let him shoot, jack the ball up 40 times a game. I can't do that because my superstar will suffer. How many shots is he gonna get if my role player gets 40? And that's simply what this is about. My superstar is the AMRAP sets on squats. He gets 40 shots a game, 40, 50. All the shots go to him. And there's a couple of shots available for the other boys around. That's kind of the extreme setup of this training program. Now, when you say to me, you can push, of course I can push, but you need to understand when you push, you are taking money out of the bank. I just wanted to let you know the thoughts behind my decision to go with 60. Like I said yesterday, 60, I feel like I can just isolate, strict form, feel the muscle, pure bodybuilding. It's not move the thing A to B, which you can turn into. So I'll go on. All V, he writes, I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. For some reason, Ivan avoids hard training. For some reason, Ivan avoids hard training. Sorry, Ivan. Oh my God. Ivan avoids hard training. This is where I mean, I don't know who you are, and I don't know whether you even watch my journey. But if you are saying that I avoid hard training the day after I did an AMRAP set, I don't know what to tell you. Other than I don't think you watch my stuff. I don't think you know what you're talking about when it comes to me. And this is oftentimes the case with people that sometimes have criticism of me. They come in and are watching one video every couple of months and they catch me on a day where I'm taking it easy and they're like, you are not progressing, you know, all of a sudden they're an expert in the van. I mean, he says sorry, so he probably means well. And he goes on to say, if you read this, but come on, train to fucking failure on rows, man. Not hating Ivan at all, but for fuck's sake, get out of your comfort zone. Definitely, it seems like you're coming from a good spot. So I appreciate the positive energy. He's saying sorry and trying to push me on and inspire me. I mean, I said I don't know how much you know about me. I don't know whether you know about these AMRAP sets. I don't know whether you know about the totality of my training. But if this is all you saw, just me half-assing rows, probably it's a fair statement. In fact, it definitely is a fair statement because I'm like 50% using weight, 50% weight of what I'm capable of on rows. But the very next thought is if you're going to make a comment like that, at least get educated in the subject matter. And I don't think you are educated on the subject matter because you don't know the totality of my training. So if you think I'm not pushing hard in this training block, I would love to see how you train and how you push, because twice a week I get anxiety, literally palpitations, because I'm about to go to war. And I don't know if you know, but if you can do an AMRAP set with squats, true AMRAP set with squats, I don't think there's many other things that are more difficult than that. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. So this statement of why does Ivan avoid hard training, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you don't know what my training is actually at the moment. And the original fella goes, Ollie, yeah, if I can do it, so can he. White Nose laughs at Olvi. And then Sem12 says, Olvi, the guy's trained over 1,500 days in a row. This can't be a serious comment. So Sem12 sounds like he knows the journey and he knows what I'm about and what's happened. So this is where you have a situation where people are chiming in that they don't really know what they're chiming in about. And then you have somebody like, are you serious? What's going on here? YZ83 goes, definitely way too light on the rows. Totally agree, fellas. A set like this, a set like that is fine for greasing the groove or warming up. Or a whole bunch of those sets with very short rests. But yeah, just put some weight on there. My last back accessory day finished with 120 for 5 on the pendlet rows. Lol, laughs out loud. I reckon I could do that too, as our deadlift strength is in a similar ballpark. I strict bent road 110 for 5 the previous week. I think another fella that doesn't know what my training is about right now, which is fair enough. People come in and go, but these are the people that come in and go and they give opinions on something that they're not educated about, which is reminding me of something that a lot of people have asked me to comment on various different political issues in the world in the last 4 years, from the troubles that we had. I don't want to say the words, all sorts of troubles in the world. They're like, Ivan, what's your stance? Ivan, what's your stance? What's your stance? And I'm always hesitant because I don't know what I'm talking about. I can give you my opinion, just like these fellas are giving an opinion, but clearly they don't know the subject matter. And then thereafter, you feel silly because you don't really know what the hell you're talking about once you learn certain information. So it's kind of like that. I feel, okay, you've done 120 kilos for a set of 5. But did you do an AMRAP squat set the day before? I don't think you did. But then you're calling me like I'm a pussy and I ain't training hard enough. So what's going on there? Right? YZ then goes, Olvi, he trains the squat really hard. Okay, so YZ knows. And sometimes bench too hard, but accessories doesn't seem to get much attention. Bent over rows are another big compound and should get just as much respect when you do them. Then we go into a topic of, can you push everything you touch in the gym to the maximum? I don't think you can. I seriously think you would struggle to do that. Can you go crazy on bench, squat, and deadlift at the same time and get after your rows, your flies, your pull-ups, your dips, and all this shit, and just everything to failure? No accessory pumping bodybuilding work, nah, just sending it all. It's impossible. Your CNS is one source, and all of these exercises that you're doing, whatever you name, is tapping into the one source, the lollipop, the brain with the tail, called the spinal cord. It's all sucking energy from there. It does not give a shit if you're doing bicep curls, squats, or farmer's carry. Your life force is coming from your brain stem, your brain and the spinal cord. So if you send everything you have in the first exercise of the training session, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be able to last on the 5th exercise with the same fire, the same spark. It's impossible. So when you say give it as much respect, so I'm supposed to come in here and absolutely give it everything I got on the day after I gave everything on the squats and some. I don't think you guys squat AMRAP sets. I don't think you push your squats as hard as you possibly can. That's what allows you to push harder in some of these other things. Because if you do an AMRAP set on the squats, your central nervous system is stuffed. The following day you wake up, you can't even clench your fists. Everything's like my hands didn't squat, but my central nervous system is fried. And I'm supposed to row with these weakling hands that I had from the day before. Makes no sense to me. White Nosy says, could keep the weight and just add a sickening tempo if the intensity is missing. Once again, you can make an RPE 10 out of 10 with a feather, with a freaking feather, if you alter some other parameter of the training. Tempo, rest intervals. You could use 50% weight and make that thing 10 out of 10 RPE, simply by moving slowly. Imagine if I started rowing like this. Right? I will be shaking, dripping 15 reps. Same as you would in a 3 rep max. Same thing. So when people say stuff like, oh, just, keep the weight light and just make it extremely difficult some other way, they think that they're kind of like bypassing the central nervous system. No, dude, exertion is exertion. It does not give a shit what parameter you're playing with. It could be weight, it could be reps, it could be tempo, it could be rest. It doesn't. Perceived exertion. How much are you exerting? Right? How many repetitions is a marathon? How many reps is that? Million repetitions? Yet that can be a 10 out of 10 RPE. You can absolutely die doing a marathon, and you can die doing a 1 reps max on the squat. The perceived, it will take you just as much out of your being. Both completely different ends of the spectrum. And so this idea of like, oh, keep the weight the same and just like make the set 5 minutes long makes no sense to me. So these fellas that sometimes message me, I mean, this is a private message, but I'm like, I don't know if you boys, number one, know, like, have you watched me in the last freaking 6 months or in the last couple of weeks? And two, I don't even know, like, what you guys are talking about when you're saying work harder. Work harder what? Like, there's one reservoir. There's one reservoir and you want me to suck the freaking petrol out of the tank even when it's dry. I don't know if you boys watch too many spicy channels on here. Boys that are constantly injecting. But even if you did that and you had real training experience, you would know some of these parameters. You would know some of these things. I mean, you cannot have your cake and eat it. It's impossible. But yeah, apparently I don't train hard enough. And here I am sitting in my garage and I'm thinking to myself, shit, I've probably never trained harder in my life. Then I open the comment and the guy's like, why isn't anyone training hard enough? And I'm like, just mind blowing. And then you sit back and you're like, wait. Maybe this guy's got no idea what he's talking about. He's got no idea what he's talking about. He's watched first 5 seconds of the video and he's like, you know what? I'm going to drop a comment and tell Ivan that he's a pussy. Ivan, you pussy. Train harder. These rows were shit. And this is where the criticisms come, right? Because I train every day, so they think my training is like their training. Some people train 3 times a week. Every time they come in, they're ready and they go hard, blah, 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 blah. I train every single day, so I oscillate in my training sessions, and they catch me on a day where I'm on the way down of oscillation, and they're like, that was shit. This is the social media, right? Like, people comment on things that they don't know what they're talking about, and yeah, I don't know. I used to reply to all the comments all the time, and then eventually you get tired of it. You get tired of communicating with people that, like, for instance, I got a message on Instagram the other day. It's just, the guy's never messaged me before, and he just messages me and he's like, no hi, or how you going, Ivan, or I appreciate you, whatever. Just boom, I need you to do this for me. He was like, what's wrong with my squat? What's wrong with my squat? Why does my squat look like this? Sends a video, no hi, how you going, about? Just give me what I need. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. He saw one video maybe. He sent in his request. No, thank you. It came across like, people don't have the patience, TikTok generation, right? People don't have the patience to like, be normal. They just come in, give me what you, and oftentimes, like I remember doing this, I'll reply to the thing and the guy would never reply back to say thank you or anything. He just wants to extract the essence of my being and not even say thank you. So I used to do that. I used to kind of like, you guys know, I used to freaking answer to all the comments, and then sooner or later you get worn down by the trolls. You get worn down by these negative individuals, and I'm human like everyone else. Like, yeah, it just weighs you down, man. It weighs you down, and sometimes I wish there was nobody watching. It's really weird. I remember feeling, I'm so grateful about the social media, and I'm very grateful about many, many people. You know, I have so many good people in the community, and I basically talk to them every single day. But, you know, you have 3 or 4 conversations with good people, and then somebody comes in like that, and you're like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you, man? Like, you would never walk up to me like that in public and do that. But yet, when you're on a keyboard, you just say stuff like this. Yeah, I mean, those are the negatives, right? The positives and negatives. And so I think there's an ability to kind of like filter stuff all the time. You're speaking with somebody and you're assuming that they know what they're talking about. And then like halfway through the conversation, you're like, holy shit, this guy's got no idea. He doesn't even know me. And he's already made assumptions about me. He doesn't even know me. And here I am arguing a point, and I'm trying to assume, does he know I squat every day? Does he know I squat AMRAP sets and the following day is going to be a weak feeling day? I'm still rowing. But he's telling me I'm weak as shit because he doesn't know I did an AMRAP set. So I'm like arguing about RPE. I'm like, you don't even know what I'm talking about. And you don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just, here we are communicating. 21st century style. Anyway. I've never worked harder in my life. Never. I don't remember working this hard, ever. Despite the comments that I get, I'm absolutely sending it, maxing it right now. So to the person that says I don't work hard enough, I wish I could somehow link 1,000 comments who said, Ivan, focus on recovery. So to you that says I don't work hard enough, there is probably 1,000 people that are saying Ivan's not recovering enough. And maybe those groups of people can talk amongst themselves. Because every single day I get something that's conflicting with some other person. It's just like, I don't know. Should I rest? Or should I train harder? Every day AMRAP. How about that? Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.